Hello guys, this is Jacob. Today I'm doing a review on the OpenHands, which is one of the latest OI coder that's just came out. So that being said, let's get started. So if you go to the OpenHands GitHub repo, I think the setup is very straightforward because it's based on Docker. So they build everything on the Docker side. So just do a Docker pull of the image. This is a runtime image, and then just run the second command. It will spin up a OpenHands instance. Once you actually start asking questions, it will create a runtime, which is they will use this runtime Docker image. So I'll show you in detail a little bit later, but that's how this works. It's a very straightforward setup, just two commands, copy and paste, save it to a bash command file, or just run this in the terminal. It should just work. And then basically it will spin up on the port 3000, so localhost 3000. You can see the interface like that. If you want any specific command, just paste it here. They will start generating the response. So if you go to this page, which is already generating some of the response from the question that I asked, so then you can basically ask some of the question here. It will go to this page. So I asked a question, is 3307 a prime? So they started to answer my question. So they also saved the response to a Python file. So it's under workspace Python app.py. So basically checking if it's a prime number, and then so they write a script, and after they finish to test the script, they're basically saying that it is a prime number, which is correct. And after that, they basically, I think, just have some of the explanations, which like summarize a task. We create a Python script to check if that is prime number. It is indeed a prime number. So that's basically the process. You can also go to the right side workspace to see, just do an ls command to see if it's actually created the file. The app.py is actually created here because, as I mentioned earlier, the whole OpenHands application is based on Docker. So so basically you can actually see the file inside the Docker container, so which is something that I'm going to show you the next. So let's go to the Docker terminal. So let's go to the Docker terminal. So you can see basically this is something we can see from the log files. So if you actually spin up the OpenHands, so you can see basically start up at 3000, and then when you start asking questions, it will basically creating a container. So if you see this container, so it's actually starting a container as a runtime container, and then start another container as a main container. There are two containers. So if you want to see the file that's created during this conversation or interactive behavior, you can go to this container or whatever the container ID on your local machine. So this is basically, if you see logs, they basically created everything and log it in here. So you also need to check everything. So for example, we did check the prime, so the create function, right, is prime, and then they also read the whole code, so you can see the logs, which is cool. And the other one, so you basically can see the container is created. If you go to this container, right, so that you could just go using the command or similar command that I write in here, replace this to your container ID. So it will basically the container. If you go to the workspace, so basically go to slash here and go to workspace, right? So there's a workspace folder. Just go to slash workspace. I will see workspace. Sorry, there's a typo. So see there's a app.py. It creates files under this folder, so you can actually do a cat to see that file. Alright, so basically see this is where it's located and how it's written. And if you have like a GUI code or script created, you can also copy paste it from here. If you feel the other browser window is too small, you can just go to the container and do a copy and paste to Visual Studio Code and test from there. Because sometimes I feel like the interface is a little bit small, so that if you see the web browser, you can see the interface. You can also do a cat in the terminal also, but it's a little bit small. You see the PY. It's also viewable, but it's just a little bit small, right? So it's hard to see. But if you go to the container, you can actually just see how it's written. And there are a few issues. I think if you have a very complicated script or complicated application, you ask the OpenHands to create. Somehow, if you need an input, you cannot input anything. And so one of the issues I noticed is that, so if you ask them to write a straightforward script, it's fine, like you see in here, it's fine, it will save in the workspace, right? And then, but if it's complicated, if it needs like input and output or interactive things, and then it will not work very nicely. So, but that's one of the issues I noticed. The other one, I think, is because the support. So right now, OpenHands is based on Docker, and the Docker is more of a local solution, right? So if you go to localhost, you create a Docker, and it's basically a way to package and make images. But if you try to make it portable, the other suggestion, I think, maybe use the udocker. So this would actually make things a lot easier when people try to test the OpenHands. It's very similar to Docker, but it's works on like the system that you don't have a root privilege. So if you have a udocker, you can use the similar command line that you saw in the GitHub, right? You can use this line to run the OpenHands like a notebook or something. But right now it's not supported. So one of the improvements they can make, I think, is this one. Just make sure that the udocker works, so everything's gonna run very smoothly in the notebook and in a very portable way, so you don't have to run everything on localhost. It's a little bit slow on localhost also. So, and another third point I want to mention is that for the OpenHands, if you use Grok, because Grok has certain token limitations. Ulama probably is fine, but every other Open API or OpenAI or Anthropic Cloud, those kind of APIs, they do have a token limits. So for example, if you go to the Grok version, which is the best probably among all the public APIs out there, it can let's say, for example, if we choose the versatile, right, that's one of the very popular ones, then you see the per minute token would be 6,000. So if you have a coding question that's more than that token amount, it will not work, right? So I think that's one of the problems. But if you Olama don't have the problem, if you have Olama installed, it should be okay. Alright, so but that's one of the issues that you should pay attention to as well. So those are the things that I think we can actually improve the OpenHands to make it even work better. So, but that's all. So hopefully this video is helpful, and if you do like this video, and please subscribe and like or comment if you have any questions. Thank you so much. Thanks for supporting the channel. See you in the next one.